Hello everybody, I'm Melancholy Crypto. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to go over my portfolio. We're going to look at the Cardano price, some Cardano token standards that I'm really excited about, and Charles Hoskinson's going to talk about it. Okay, but let's start off with my portfolio. So what we're looking at right now is my portfolio from 33 days ago when I uploaded my personal finances and investments video. That video did very well. I think it has over 300 views. This was my portfolio at the time. As you can see, well, as you're going to see, I've made quite a few changes. But just briefly, I think about 80% of my portfolio was weighted towards Crow. Down here at the bottom, I summed it up basically. So I had $32,000 in cryptocurrency altogether, and then I had an additional $3,700 in .crypto domains. This is excluding my .zil domains, just for simplicity's sake. So the total value is $35,000 or 3.2 Bitcoin. And now let's go look at my more recent portfolio. This is from today. The biggest changes by far is the fact that I sold 32,000 Crow. And the reason I sold this particular number is because in order to have my Crypto.com metal card, I just have to have 100,000 Crow. So I'm not going to delete my account. I could delete my account and get all my Crow back, but I'm perfectly fine still holding some Crow just for the card, for the Spotify, for the Netflix, you know, for the 4% cashback, etc., etc. And I still get 20% interest until the staking period's over, which is another 90 days. After that point, I might reconsider holding it, but until then, I'm still fine holding this amount of Crow. But yeah, Crow just got slaughtered. I mean, it was worth 15 cents before, and now it's down to 8 cents. I was predicting it was gonna go down to 6 cents, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. I think Crypto.com made some big mistakes, lowering interest rates and kind of treating their users, you know, like children. You know, not telling us what they're going to do or why they're doing it. And honestly, the whole time through, they're probably taking their profits before they make any of these decisions. You know, because they know when everyone's going to unlock their Crow, and so they can basically front run everyone and just sell their Crow before us. But anyways, biggest differences in my profile is I've bought 19,000 more Cardano, and I'm going to explain why. So this was a huge difference. I think this is about $2,000 worth of Cardano I added to my profile. Engine didn't change. Cosmos didn't change. XDAI stake. For those that don't know, XDAI is a side chain to the Ethereum blockchain. So you can exchange ERC tokens and products on this chain for a fraction of the costs and the transaction time that it would take on Ethereum. So it's a shard of the Ethereum blockchain, which is why I've invested heavily in it, is because a lot of these scaling solutions will do very well because a lot of protocols, in order to have their tokens or whatever their products work, is they need fast transactions and cheap transactions. So I believe a lot of them will transition over to XDAI if they're on the Ethereum blockchain currently, move over to these other chains. Anyways, Chainlink didn't change, Stellar didn't change. Dia is a oracle. It's kind of like Chainlink in that a lot of information goes through it. I added 115 Dia. My Dia did really bad. It's a third of the price I bought it at, so that feels bad, but I'm not too upset. I added Numar to my profile. This is brand new. The reason I bought this token was because basically I was going through the AI category of tokens that use AI as a part of their mechanism, and Numar is kind of like a hedge fund that is AI, that is weighted based off of an AI's determination. So the algorithm I like, and I have quite a bit of faith in improving algorithms to give us the best price. So yeah, I'm looking for other ones that also incorporate AI. Another one was Ocean Protocol that uses some AI technology, and yeah, I'm very excited about that. Band Protocol and Ocean Protocol are both brand new. Band Protocol is also an Oracle token. Added Ampleforth and some Banano. Those are my two small ones I added. So yeah. So in summary, my cryptocurrency portfolio today is now worth $23,000, $23,000. And then I have added a lot more .crypto domains. So I went from 90 to 121. So it's now worth 4,840. That's how much I've spent on it. The actual value is kind of a mystery because I haven't really sold any of them, and each one you have to determine for themselves. But in total, my portfolio is now worth $28,000, 250, or 2.4 Bitcoin, or 2.04 Bitcoin. So I actually lost a whole Bitcoin. And the fact that I don't hold any Bitcoin is probably a really bad decision on my part, because even professional traders or investors hold some gold or some cash. Like, they just always hold some as a counterweight, as so they're not fully exposed to the risk, you know? So I'm exposed to all the downsides of altcoins because Bitcoin's been doing well and altcoins have been doing bad. I have definitely been feeling that. So yeah, that's my portfolio today. Okay, here's the price of Cardano. Cardano against Ethereum. This is the chart I drew a little while back. It's kind of dipped past this line, and of course it's gonna ignore my lines, but I still believe that Cardano is going to do well against Ethereum. I think Ethereum's going to do well, but I think Cardano's going to do even better. So let's just see how this plays out. I have not given it nearly enough time, but what I'm expecting to happen is something like this, maybe. That looks crazy, but I do believe we're on the verge of a big pump. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Here is the token standard feature comparison of Cardano and Ethereum. So this has been absolutely not talked enough about in the broader cryptocurrency scene, is the fact that Cardano native tokens are going to be treated as a priority. They're going to be given all the same privileges as Cardano itself, as opposed to Ethereum, where Ether gets treated quite differently to the tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. So while with Ethereum you need, like, everything needs to be done in Solidity, and basically you have to go in and copy paste the code and then change it for yourself, and it's a bit of a mess. You know, every token is very different and they're not compliant, right? They have the standards, the ERC20 standard, but as far as adoption goes, it's slow and difficult because each token requires different levels of support in order to adopt them. Whereas with Cardano, everything is going to be natively supported, and all developments are going to benefit everything on the Cardano platform. And so here's a clip from the Keyblock show. She did a podcast with Charles Hoskinson. This was came out today. It's a really good podcast. I'll link it down below if you want to watch the whole thing. It's quite long. It's going to be about 10 minutes. So but it's definitely worth watching.
So my another question is, Guggen Era will support native assets on the Cardano network, which is much different than the asset on other blockchain projects like Ethereum. Would you like to briefly explain how native assets support on Cardano will be different and better than as we see on Ethereum network?
Yeah, it's a strange thing that Ethereum treats the assets issued on it as second-class citizens. These are different things. And so Vitalik is a lover of abstraction, and I studied mathematics too. I got a little further along than he did, but in both cases we love the field. And one of the first things you learn as a mathematician is the joy of abstraction. So this concept that everything's a smart contract is kind of cool, but there's a price you pay for that. Because you now have to differentiate the ERC20 tokens from Ether itself. And in doing that, it means the things that natively work with Ether are intrinsically different than the things that work with ERC20. And then you also can have multiple token standards, and then there's an interoperability problem and so forth. Given what the ICO revolution and soon the STO revolution is doing for the cryptocurrency space, there's just simply too much value in these tokens, and they need to be treated as first-class citizens. Chainlink is a great example. It's worth like $5 billion. That's worth more than most protocol tokens. There's only a few exceptions. So probably a good idea to treat that as if it was its own cryptocurrency inside the system. The minute you do that, Then you get uniformity of transaction fees. You get much simpler transaction logic. It's a lot easier to list them on exchanges. It's a lot easier to build wallet infrastructure for them or get things like Ledger and Trezor to work. And then also you can entertain the idea of paying transaction fees with the native asset itself. So as part of that commercial conversation, using Voltaire in the future, not today, but in the coming months and years, eventually we can pitch to the community, say something like, hypothetically, Chainlink wants to move over, but they'll only do it if they can pay their transaction fees in Link, and let the community vote to enable that. And then the stake pool operators get paid in ADA and Link every time they process transactions. And Chainlink is like, wow, I no longer have to pay Ether for a transaction. It's like I own my own blockchain, and they also get all the other advantages of being inside the system. So that's one dimension of it. The other dimension is, as I build infrastructure for ADA, all of that infrastructure works natively with your token. For example, Voltaire, we have all these governance tools. Well, guess what? If you issue a token on Cardano, all those governance tools will work for your token. So this is a big problem with DeFi, is who's in control. And what's happened is that all these DeFi platforms are having to rapidly build their DAOs and decentralized governance infrastructure because they're trying to avoid liability. And they don't want to get sued or something or have to get licenses. And it turns out if you run a foundation or something, then you're a centralized controller. And they're like, whoa, that's not good. So they say, well, how do we decentralize this? That's hard to build a decentralized governance layer. Well, we are solving that problem right now for Cardano, and all of those tools are generic and modular. And so because your assets are treated the same way as ADA, that infrastructure understands your assets the same way it understands ADA. So you get for free a voting system with your token, and you can build any governance schema you want with the token policy to basically use those voting tools to handle anything from monetary policy to interventions, rollbacks, and these types of things. And it's the same for all the other infrastructure. Like when Hydra comes and we talk about payment channels, these tokens are treated the same way as ADA. So the same way you do a payment system or a state channel system for ADA, your token will get that as well. So you get the low transaction fees and off-chain stuff and blah, blah, blah. So that's the power of having native assets. It just makes a lot more sense given the size, scope, and scale of these things. And then you can offer a lot more to a token issuer than Ethereum is going to in both Ethereum 1 and Ethereum 2. And because you can offer a lot more, I think it's a more attractive commercial conversation. And ultimately, it's just the right thing to do. These were always intended to be multi-asset ledgers, Ethereum on up. In fact, the very time we announced Ethereum, we put issuing your own token on a T-shirt back in January of 2014. So this was always something that was in scope for these types of projects.
Okay, hi there. So, these updates on native token support on the Cardano blockchain got me really excited. So going forward, when I do my next update next month, you can expect me to have a lot more Cardano. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.